Siomra
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tiny Room. Welcome back to our JoJo Rabbit. I'm the Michael of Michaelandbenjaminspodcast, and I am joined by the man who is to dating what he also is to podcasts. It's Benjamin.
You're going to have to explain that one for the listeners there, sorry.
You've been on a date. That's it. That's the joke.
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have anything music.
That was the entirety of the joke, Ben. Benjamin, look, Ben, there's very little news this week.
There's nothing.
Well, there's probably not nothing.
We haven't been looking.
We haven't been looking. We've been a bit preoccupied.
In our world, when we haven't looked at something, nothing's happened.
Nothing has happened. Benjamin, I don't remember any new trailers.
Nor do I.
Did we talk about Bloodshot? I think we talked about
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot.
We covered it last week.
Yeah. Traditionally, Ben, trailers come out on a Monday is something we're starting to realise.
Real pricks.
Yeah, Hollywood has it in for us.
Hollywood has it in for us. They heard we were doing the coveted Michael and Benjamin's podcast every Sunday, and they said, well, let's stick it to these sons of bitches. They're afraid of independent media, Michael. They're afraid of independent media taking all their time. It's the most awkward way I've ever seen someone drink a glass of water.
It's pretty good, isn't it? It's
pretty
my
good.
new
I mean,
water drinking technique.
Good is a strong adjective. It's certainly effective. Good is a...
You know what is good, though?
Go on.
The new television series, Picard.
Oh, boom. Seamless segue as
Very
usual,
good.
Michael. Go on.
Benjamin, are you familiar with Star Trek?
No, what's that? No, I'm kidding. I am, yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows Star Trek.
knows.
And everyone knows that categorically the best captain is probably Cisco. But Picard is also good and popular.
Oh, what a jape. What a jape.
But this series, Ben, this is a Star Trek series for the modern world.
Tell me more, Michael.
Have you ever watched The Next Generation, Ben? It is very much a product of its time.
No.
It's an 80s, late 80s, early 90s, ship in a bottle. A thing happens each week and then we reset, and made for syndication. You don't need to watch them in order.
Classic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a little anthology series. Within a set universe.
Because it's always a set. It's definitely a series, but this is from the era before continuity really became.
I'm sorry, could you say that word again, please?
Continuity.
Children listen to this show.
Continuity. It's from an era before serialization became really important in television.
Yes.
And Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Ben, was really the first Star Trek series that gave it a go at kind of a serialization.
Yes.
Took a back step then on Voyager, really.
Was Voyager any good? I never know.
It was all right.
Sky One showed it very often.
Yeah, it was all right. It was kind of like The Next Generation, but with a motley crew rather than a crew of paragons.
No perfect people here.
No
great, but I think probably the best one was 6 of 9.
7 of 9.
A little bit of
Star Trek humor for you there,
or just misplaced teenage angst.
But Ben, the new TV series Picard, we probably shouldn't call them TV series anymore. It's on Amazon. It's not. It's the new streaming series.
The new streaming series.
Picard, Star Trek Picard.
Yes.
It's a big divergence for Star Trek in a lot of ways. First of all, it's the first Star Trek series in a long time
to feature a bottle of wine.
There's lots of wine in it, but it's also set in what you would call the original timeline, the prime timeline.
Prime line?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we have Discovery, which a lot of Star Trek fans are a bit 50-50 on. Exactly.
How do I feel about this?
Yeah, and that's a kind of prequel, but a prequel set in an alternate timeline that doesn't really make sense.
Mucky.
The movies branched off into their own timeline, Ben, the Kelvin timeline. And
is this the Chris Pine verse?
Yes, the Chris Pine-verse.
The Pine-verse
is a spin-off of the main verse.
Bloody J.J. Abrams.
But it's not a complete
fingers out of our bloody Star Trek pie.
But now we're back. We're back in the main timeline, post Voyager, post Deep Space Nine. The last thing that chronologically happened in that timeline, Ben, was the film
Nemesis?
No, Star Trek. The 2009 Star Trek.
With Chris Pine.
With Chris Pine. That starts in, for want of a better term, the original timeline.
Okay.
And then whoever, the baddie, blows up Romulus, you'll remember.
Yes.
And then travels back in time. And that incident sets up the new Star Trek timeline.
Yeah, because Picard died at some point in one of the movies, didn't he? Or
no.
Was there not something like that? Was there not a big thing where he was cloned and there was an evil Patrick Stewart?
Yeah, it was friend of the podcast, Tom Hardy.
Was it?
Yeah, Tom Hardy played young Picard, young clone Picard. In Star Trek Nemesis. It's one of his earlier film roles.
What?
Yeah, go back and look at it. It's brilliant. But anyway.
Wait.
Yeah,
This is about to become a Nemesis podcast. Explain. What happened?
In the film Nemesis, Star Trek Nemesis, we find out that the Romulans, who are a bunch of bad eggs in general.
Pack of pricks.
Well, that's a lot of the plot of Star Trek Picard, which we'll get to in a minute. They, a long time ago, got hold of Picard's DNA and cloned him.
Oh.
To make Shinzon.
What's a Shinzon?
Shinzon is a clone of Picard who was raised as a Romulan.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was a type of clone.
No.
Okay.
And he was played by Tom Hardy with a shaved head, doing a kind of number one voice.
Gas.
And you know the terrifying thing is, Counselor, I could actually see 5 lights.
Gas.
Yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about? Star Trek Picard.
Yes.
So it's set after that. Romulus has been destroyed. And the Romulans have scattered across the galaxy and become kind of refugees and...
Oh, very topical.
Very, very topical,
Very
Benjamin.
topical.
And Picard has... the IMDb says 2 Romulans. I think it's a Romulan and a Vulcan. But on his ranch... Not his ranch, his maison, his vineyard...
Yeah, Picard doesn't have a ranch. He has a French vineyard.
Yeah, or as
an Italian or French vineyard.
It's French. It's Chateau Picard. His name's Jean-Luc, goddammit, Ben.
Oh, how silly.
On his vineyard, or as my good lady friend called it, vineyard.
That's not how you say it.
No, I know. I tell her every time, but she doesn't care. She's like,
Shock.
yeah. He has 2 bloody Romulans living with him. I think one of them looks like a Vulcan, but that doesn't matter. And one of them's Irish.
No.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Please don't tell me the Irishman is working the vineyard.
She's a lady. She's a lady. Yeah.
Oh, look at me assuming gender, huh?
Yeah, no, she's a lady. She's an Irish lady, but she's an alien. She's an Irish alien. It's brilliant. It's so confusing.
What does she do on the
She
chateau?
appears to be like the housekeeper and his confidant.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a little bit post-colonial, isn't it?
It is a bit, but I think that might be on purpose. I think that might come back to bounce back on us.
Does she join the team or does she stay in the chateau?
The team is not established by the end of episode 1.
Okay. But it's going to be a Jean-Luc Picard, you son of a bitch. Careful now.
Yes.
Language.
I'm not waiting to die. I'm not living. I'm waiting to die. It's time I did something about this situation I'm getting up. Magneto.
What is the situation?
Well, the situation is synthetics, Ben.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, they have bombed Mars, which is where the Romulan refugees were.
Bloody replicants.
Yeah, so and the Borg seem to be involved. It's very complex. But Ben, it's beautifully shot. Looks expensive. Looks like a film.
Amazon's got that big,
They got that
big budget.
big money. They got that big money, Ben, and it's very good.
Huge budget in their pants.
It's it has started on a very strong note.
When they wear Speedos, they're called budget smugglers.
Yeah, exactly. Even though, but that's very good. That's one of your best jokes. Hold on.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
The coveted Michael Leonard giggle.
Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, there's an Irish person. She's an alien. It's brilliant. Which makes sense, really, because why would all Romulans have American accents?
They wouldn't, Michael.
Yeah, exactly.
They wouldn't.
So
Romulans have a deep and varied culture.
Yeah, so she's a Romulan who learned English in Claire. The actress who plays her name is Orla Brady. She couldn't be more Irish if she tried.
She's a Romulan.
She's a bleeding Romulan, I tell you now. Jean-Luc, if you don't eat them that bloody coddle that I made for you, I'll give you a slap in the head.
Down the Romany-plex.
Yeah, old bald bollocks, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, no, Ben, you should watch it. It's very good. It's very enjoyable.
Okay, I'll go take a look, because I'm a member of Amazon Prime and can do that.
Yeah, and a friend of the podcast, Patrick Stewart's in it. Now, Ben, I saw another thing. You didn't come because you were struck down with a vital case of coward's blood.
Thank God for that.
But in Cinema Club, Ben, on Wednesday night, we went to see a film. I'm going to describe the film to you, and then you tell me what film it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I take recurring guesses as you go?
No. You can only get one guess.
Okay.
So, Ben, in this film, we have Will Smith. And Will Smith plays a slightly aging lawman who's the best at his game. And he's kind of a ruthless killer, and, you know, he's the best.
Okay.
Until someone from his past on a motorcycle starts mysteriously killing all his old connections.
Dun, dun,
Then
dun.
he finally manages to have a showdown with him, and it turns out to be some evil vestige of his past who's like a younger, stronger, fitter version of himself. And then he chases him through South America on a motorbike, and they have a gunfight. So which film is that, Ben?
You're describing the Will Smith, Jaden Smith murder trial, aren't you?
Very good. No, I was actually, Ben, I was hoping that you'd get this because
Gemini Man.
There you go. Very good.
Gemini Man.
Oh, you did get it. You just
Michael,
ruined
I
the
did get
bit.
it. I was just.
It's not Gemini Man. It's Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 3 Life is the joke.
Bad Boys 3 for life.
Bad Boys 3 Life. That's the joke I was trying to do that you've ruined. Do a little giggle for my joke. Go on. Very good. And that's the plot of Bad Boys 3. Will Smith has made the same film twice.
What I did enjoy, Michael, whilst you were probably watching the actual film, I've been passing the posters for Bad Boys 3 / Bad Boys 4.
Bad Boys 3 Life is what
Bad
it's
Boys
called.
3's life.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I know. Why would you call it Bad Boys 4 Life when it's Bad Boys 3? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Bad Boys 3 Life.
Martin Lawrence has received some wonderful Photoshop treatment in the posters, and if only they could have done that in the movies. Yes. He's a much slimmer, more jaw-lined man in the posters.
He does look like he's come straight from the set of Big Mama's House.
Forgetting to take off the suit.
Yes, well, that's what I was implying. He has put on quite a bit of comedy weight. But it's all right in the film because that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's settling into...
they're past their prime.
Well, he's past his prime. Is Will Smith supposed to be past his prime?
Well, Will Smith's refusing to recognise he's past his prime.
A classic male ego dilemma for a film.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's actually, Ben, not horrible.
It probably wouldn't be. Will Smith is incredibly charismatic, and the Bad Boy films are enjoyable by all means.
I didn't see them.
Yeah, neither did I. I've never seen a Bad Boys film. Yeah. But they've done very well, Michael.
They've done all right.
People constantly say Bad Boys, Bad Boys.
But that's a famous song, you see.
What you gonna do when they come for you, Bad Boys, Bad Boys.
Yeah, all right. Good podcasting.
Yeah, it's great. Top of the range.
Top
Two podcasters past their prime. Revisit their past.
Very good. What was I saying?
I like to think we're just hitting our prime, Michael.
It's surprisingly, it's all right. It's surprisingly all right. Will Smith plays pretty far from the Will Smith character, though.
Really?
Yeah, he's a bit meaner. He's
a bit depth.
A little tiny bit of depth. It's no bloody Shakespeare's Hamlet and Juliet. But
his classic undiscovered play.
Yeah, the Midsummer Tempest. It's not
Hamlet's
that.
back, and this time he's got a time machine.
And a girl who's inappropriately young.
And a girl who's uncomfortably young, but we'll acknowledge Ralph Fiennes and Cara Delevingne in Hamlet and Juliet.
I'd watch that. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Good pitch.
Pitch, yeah. Pitch please for next week. Yeah.
Now, what was I saying?
Yeah, you were saying that it was grand. There's a bit of depth.
It's fine, yeah.
He's quite mean.
There's not a huge amount of depth, Ben. Don't get carried away. And it is the plot of Gemini Man, but it's fine. I found myself smiling quite a bit during the chases and the kicks and the gunshots, and it was stupid, but
and a Leonard smile is a smile you can trust.
Exactly.
Unless he's talking about jiu-jitsu.
He has an almost age-appropriate love interest.
Oh.
Almost. She's like 42 and he's, 55? But at least she's not 25.
That's age-appropriate.
At least she's not 25.
Yeah, it doesn't matter once you get past 30, Michael. Once everyone's past 30,
Once everyone's past 30, it's fine.
It's fine.
Son of a bitch. What was I going to say then after that? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, what else did you see this week, Michael?
Ben, I saw the thing that was your idea to see, but then you got struck down by a case of coward's blood.
I am currently the patient zero of coward's blood.
Yeah. The coronavirus is... Well, that's going to age this podcast, isn't it?
Let's not go there. That's a bit of a tragedy.
Is it?
Yeah,
What's going on?
Lots of people are dying in China, Michael.
How many?
41 to date. Doctors included.
Is that a lot?
It's not a lot, but the Chinese government are doing that thing where they cover it up, and it's really awkward.
Anyway, what was I saying?
Go on.
JoJo Rabbit. Speaking of horrible things that happened.
Speaking of horrible things that happened.
It's very good, Ben. I thoroughly recommend it.
Yes, I've heard, Michael. I've heard.
Thoroughly enjoyable. The most impressive thing about it is the de-aging technology they use on Nick Frost.
Because he's a young man, Michael.
Yeah.
He's a young man.
He's a little fellow.
And you have said, Michael, previous to seeing this particular film, if they ever make a Nick Frost biopic, that young man should
get that young fella in, because he's very, very Nick Frost.
I was watching an interview with Taika Waititi, and he said, he basically walked in the door, sat in the chair, and he was like, right, you're in the film.
Yeah.
Apparently, even the way he walked into the room was just wonderful for Taika Waititi, and that was it. He was bloody sold.
Now, Ben, it's not a bloody laugh-a-minute good time.
It's not supposed... I think the trailer is slightly misleading.
Yeah, it's set during the Holocaust, Ben, which you'll be familiar with.
Because...
It's pretty famous.
I think you mean infamous, Michael.
Yeah. Go on. It's not a laugh-a-minute good time, by any stretch. Now,
I should bloody fucking hope not.
It does make fun of Nazis.
which is fine.
It makes quite light of Nazis and makes them appear ridiculous.
Yes.
But also horrible and murderous.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
There's a nice balance struck
like
between the two.
We do come into the story when the war is a foregone conclusion. So the Nazis know they've lost.
Oh.
So it's only the kind of kids who are delusional about what's going on.
Hence the quote from the trailer, it's not a good time to be a Nazi.
Not a good time to be a Nazi, JoJo. Which is funny because he has an English accent, but it's good. It's very entertaining. But it's not a laugh a minute riot of jokes and japes.
How's ScarJo?
Very attractive,
as per bloody usual,
and a bit of a, you could accuse her of being a bit of a manic pixie dream mother, but that's probably, remember the whole thing is set from the perspective of a 10-year-old boy, so
yes,
fine. That's how he probably sees his mother.
It's all fine.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's good. Well, I mean, once again, as almost always, Sam Rockwell is probably the best thing in it.
The man just steals a movie.
Yeah, he just can't help himself.
He just steals a movie.
Stephen Merchant is very good as a kind of slender man Nazi. He only has one scene really, but it's a very good scene.
Great old scene.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Wes Anderson.
I should try and go see it.
It has a touch of the Wes Anderson. I think it's out of cinemas now, Ben.
Oh, I don't think so.
It has a touch of the Wes Andersons about it.
So.
Imagine if Wes Anderson did a film about kids during the Nazi times.
Cool.
It's good.
Cool.
I think you should see it.
Fair enough. I will do my best.
All three things this week were good. I enjoyed Picard the most.
You've been doing very well, Michael.
Yeah, I know.
Doing very well.
I enjoyed Picard the most, JoJo Rabbit second most, and Bad Boys 3 Life. Fine. Would not watch again, but it didn't come out angry.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's also not in horrible high def like Gemini Man.
Oh,
remember how Gemini Man was in such high def? You're like, this is gross.
Blood.
Oh, Coward's Blood. You haven't seen any films.
No,
have you ever seen a film,
Never
Ben?
seen a film. Never seen. Not a one film have I seen. That doesn't stop me from pitching them though, Michael.
Very good.
So, a couple of weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, pre-Christmas, we took a look at No, I got this wrong last time. He-Man.
No.
That's not it either. But anyway, we took a look at He-Man, and I had been fascinated by the documentary "The Toys That Made Us." The Toys That Made Us, Michael. And I had gone down the rabbit hole of He-Man manufacturing, and I decided to do one of our coveted segments, Pitch Please.
Pitch Please. Although we only did come up with the name for it last time.
With Black Cat, yes.
Was it? Okay.
It was first pioneered with Black Cat. But we've come back to it, Michael, because there was a part 2 to my pitch, and we were all waiting on tenterhooks to hear about part 2 of the Pre-Man
Benjamin,
movie. Yes,
you're going to have to Craig David us and very briefly fill me in on what happened in the first part.
We Were Making Love by...
No, that's a different song.
Sorry.
Fill me in. Fill me. Tell us what happened in the first part of the pitch.
So, we're introduced to the land of Eternia. It's slightly war-torn at this particular time, Michael.
Yes.
There's a big bunch of sweaty lads. I believe the last time we were on the podcast, we called them leather daddies with swords.
Yeah, very sweaty.
And they were gearing up for a big old tussle.
Yeah.
And the tussle that they were gearing up for was against the bloody horde
of mutants.
Horde of mutants, as we so eloquently put it on the podcast last time.
Yes.
And they were going up against each other, and they were gonna have a bloody kerfuffle.
Have an fight.
And what happened next was we were introduced to the hero of Eternia, and he was a big, musty lad. And oh, wait a minute, he doesn't have blonde hair. What's going on? That's not the He-Man that we've come to know and love. No,
who is it?
It's bloody Kalor. Kalor. And anyone who's a big fan of the He-Man lore will know that Kalor is... mouth stopped working there, sorry. Is Skeletor pre-face melty shenanigans. Pre-blue.
Before he was a skeleton.
Yeah, before he was a skeleton. So Kalor, it turns out, is the hero of Eternia at this particular time. And the glimpse that we get of Eternia at this time is they're not very nice people, Michael. There's a little bit of an imperialist bent to them. And we don't know how we feel about that, Michael.
Racist.
They're a little bit racist. They're a little bit superior. There might be some bloody experimenty things going on. But anyway, they decide to strike an unethical blow in the war against Hordak, who is the current despot running the Badlands of Eternia.
Yes.
And they decide to secretly assassinate him. And they go about doing that. And Kalor is the point man on the whole job, because Kalor is the bloody hero of Eternia.
He's got the skills.
And we're introduced to some classic Eternian characters. We get bloody Duncan, or Man-at-Arms.
Yeah.
We get bloody Kalora, and then we get an unusual character who wasn't revealed until the end of the last episode, bloody General Teela, who is the head of the bloody scientific unit and research and development of weapons for Eternia, and he's going along. And then it turns out the whole thing was a bloody ruse, Michael. They weren't going to assassinate Hordak at all. They were going to bloody steal the sword, which is the famous sword from bloody, whatchamacallit, He-Man, what's it called?
Thundercats.
No.
The Sword of Omens.
No.
The Sword of Ra.
No.
The Sword of Excalibur.
No.
The Sword... Oh, I can't think of any more
I
famous
can't
swords.
think of his name. What's the name of the bloody sword?
I don't think it...
Bloody He-Man sword.
Grey Skull.
Yeah, Grey Skull sword. Let's call it that. This is really bad. We should definitely know the name of that sword. You do that and I'll spin my wheels. So anyway, there's a bloody betrayal. There's a bloody switchy, witchy, uppy, downy, roundy, towndy kind of thing. And Kalora ends up on the bad end of Captain Teela or General Teela's bloody ire.
It is a Sword of Grey Skull.
Teela uses his thing to nick
power.
the Sword of Grey Skull. But he only gets half the bloody Sword of Grey Skull, Michael. He only gets half the bloody sword because it shatters as they escape.
Oh, classic.
He sends bloody Kalora in first. Kalora clamps his hand down on it, and all of a sudden, Michael,
Yeah.
bloody melts, gets a facey melty Indiana Jonesy, Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of bloody facey melt.
Now here's a question, Ben,
Yes.
which I may not have asked last time.
Go on.
When his face melts, does it become yellow or does it become white or is it a
It'd be
skull?
a bit neon-y, jaded green, mossy scully.
Oh, right. Okay,
It's not pleasant. He doesn't get a pure bone skull. It's decrepit and decayed.
Does he get a skull like Frank Langella in the 1987 Masters of the Universe?
Hopefully not.
Okay,
Hopefully it's a
good.
little bit better than that.
It's actually quite good, that prosthetic.
The prosthetic, yes. The movie, no.
Terrible movie.
Terrible movie. So anyway, that's where we left off. We were kind of introduced to the fact that maybe things aren't so bloody great in
Ben,
the Kingdom of Eternia.
people can listen to that episode. It's called Pre-Man.
It is. It has a wonderful picture of Skeletor looking wistful on the cover if you're looking at it on YouTube, and you can find it. We'll probably promote both of them this week, Michael, so you can find our previous episode if you want.
Very intelligent.
Furthermore, Michael, something is rotten in the state of Eternia. To quote our Hamlet and Romeo, Hamlet and Juliet upcoming screenplay, something is rotten in the state of Eternia, and that's kind of where we left off last time. So, Michael.
Yes?
We're going to do an 10-year time jump, and I know you're not a time jump fan.
That's not
Michael.
a bloody time jump.
You're not a bloody time jump fan, but it's important, Michael, because the last time we looked at this, we knew that Prince Adam was a young man. We knew that Prince Adam he wasn't a young man, but he was a boy.
It's episode 130 if anyone's interested.
And King Randor was adamant that his son grow into his teenage years in a peaceful environment. So 10 years later, we're jumping forward, and the Eternia that we saw in the initial opening, or the initial quarter of the film,
yes,
is a thing of the past.
The opening act, I believe it's called in film parlance.
Yes, if you're good at anything. If you're good at podcasting, you'd probably call it by its proper name.
Opening act. In
the opening act, we saw kind of a war-ravaged one, down on its luck Eternia. And this time, we see the exact opposite. We see a thriving kingdom, Michael. A thriving kingdom that seems to be gearing up for some kind of celebration.
Are the people still in leatherwear?
Oh yeah, they've got their leatherwear. Yeah. No, they haven't got their battle
battle harnesses.
No, they haven't got their battle harnesses on. They're kind of a medieval techno advanced society. So we're doing a little mixy wixy. Cyberpunk meets bloody medieval. Game of Thrones.
All right.
It's messy, Michael. It's messy.
Okay.
I haven't worked out the aesthetics completely.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, they're gearing up, and from one of the
towers... Are there
any
women, or are they all just leather daddies?
No, they're all leather daddies. There are no women.
There's no women in Eternia.
This is He-Man is gay in this.
Is he?
He's fully gay in this.
Okay.
We're just leaning into it, Michael.
All right.
No, we'll get to that in a second. There's one man watching the festivities, and we hear kind of a growl of just like some celebration, and it's a bit dour.
Yeah,
bit dour.
Yeah.
And who do we see?
Duncan.
Duncan's watching the whole thing from a parapet.
A rampart.
A rampart. I can.
Duncan,
one of the parts.
To quote Duncan in the 1987 film. Oh, jeez. I'm a man at arms in the Eternian Guard.
Yeah, well, he's bloody same bloody gig.
Yeah.
And he's bloody there, and he's not the Duncan that we saw in Act 1. He looks maybe like he might have a substance abuse issue.
Oh no.
Maybe he's a little down on his luck.
He's on the what would the alcohol be called in Eternia? He's on the
juice. He's on the juice.
Oh, he's on the juice.
No, what do we call it?
He's from the
grey juice. Doesn't
grey
have a
juice.
nice...
Yeah, he's got the grey juice. Keep going.
Skulker. We call it Skulker.
No, that's horrible.
It's too late. It's going in. Anyway, he looks like he has a bit of a substance abuse.
He's on the juice. Yeah.
Issue. We can see that things are a bit rough around the edges with the old man-at-arms. His armour is distinctly tarnished. And we find out from a young man known as Prince Adam.
Yeah, a chunk fella.
He's the captain of the guard now. He's a big boy.
Captain Adam is or Duncan?
No. Duncan is.
Right.
Prince Adam is still a bloody prince.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he partakes in daily training, but he comes up and he goes, "Oh, cheer up, Duncan. It's not so bloody bad."
Yeah, I'm English, innit?
I'm bloody English.
It's all fine, Duncan. Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't know where he's from, but we'll
from
probably
Eternia, Ben.
yeah, what are Eternians? What's the accent? Is it traditionally
Irish.
American? Irish. Yeah. Sure, look, Duncan, it's bloody grand.
Yes.
So it turns out that this celebration is kind of like a bloody nationalist holiday for Eternia.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's very distasteful, Michael. But Prince Adam is distinctly pro-Eternia. He's like, oh, come on, it's our victory day. This is the day we slew Hordak. You were there. You saw the whole thing. Bloody Tila, struck the first great blow against the Horde. And he's like...
He grew up during the Celtic Tiger.
He grew up during the... He's me.
Yeah,
He's
a millennial.
He's me.
He's an Eternian millennial.
Now, we're looking at a man who's about 1920 this
Right.
time, so we've done a distinctive
Time
jump because we need an actor with a bit of range.
So the actor will probably be 29, but
The
he's
actor's going
playing
to be 29.
20. Yeah,
The actor's going to be 29, but it's going to be Hollywood 29, so it's fine.
Have you
I haven't done
thought of
any
any
casting, Michael. It's been very tough to cast. It's been very tough to cast this, because once you make the jump to He-Man, he's a larger-than-life character intentionally, Michael.
What about special effects?
Yes, we'll have special effects, but...
No, what about if he's animated?
I've been thinking about an animated film. We're going to get that at the end.
No, I'm not saying an animated film.
No.
But you could just make He-Man. We have the technology now where He-Man,
just a larger-than-life creature,
could be mostly CGI.
Yes, that could be fun.
It could be terrible. It could be terrible.
Could be terrible. So this is the risk, Michael, but we're going to discuss that at the end. So anyway... We're introduced to Tila as well, the traditional Tila that we know. Okay, yes, Michael, yes, look how excited you are. And her and Prince Adam are firm friends. Okay,
very
and
firm.
she is even more nationalist than he.
Of course she is,
because her father is the great hero of the Hordak slaying.
Yeah.
And so we find out from Duncan, he's like, just get ready for the tour. And we're like, oh, the tour. What's the tour? Oh, goodness. There's a bloody royal tour to visit all the lands of Eternia in celebration of the 10-year anniversary of the slaying of Hordak.
Very good.
So there's going to be a traditional kind of bloody wave of the fist, the royal we, lots of meetings. And Prince Adam is entirely looking forward to this. He's like, won't it be great to see how grateful people are for what we did? Like
young Prince Harry before he married Meghan Markle and had to go into exile.
Before he escaped the clutches of the royal family. And so this is all happening, and Duncan is just like, and he's had enough, right?
He's on the juice.
We jump then, and we meet Randor again. So Adam goes to speak with Randor.
Who's he again?
Randor is the king of Eternia. And King Randor is just a prick these days. He's just a prick. He's like, God damn it, boy.
Yeah.
Why can't you do me proud?
Yeah,
if you fuck up this tour, I swear to Christ.
Remember what happened to Princess Diana? You don't want that to happen, do you? Again.
So welcome to yet another last podcast of the Michael and Benjamin's podcast. Jesus Christ, will you learn to drink water? Fucking grim. So anyway.
Go on, yeah.
Yeah. The tour takes place. We were introduced to Randor. He's a real prick. He puts a lot of pressure on Prince Adam. Prince Adam's like, no, my dad's right to do it. I need to be a better king.
I have to be the king.
I have to be the king. And he goes, look, and like Randor is not looking the best. It seems that this kind of utopian Eternia they've built,
whatever deal has been struck,
comes at
is taking a toll on them.
It's a Faust's bargain. It's a Faust's bargain.
Faustian is the adjective.
The only one. No, it's a noun. Faust's bargain.
Faustian, yeah. Fine.
Okay. It's a Faustian pact.
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Happy now?
No.
Fucking prick. So anyway, the only one who seems to be really reveling in this is bloody Tila.
Tila loves it.
Bloody big boy Tila.
General Tila.
General Tila.
Not young
General
Tila.
Tila. Yeah. No, General Tila's loving it.
I suspect he's the bad egg behind this whole thing. He's the Grima Wormtongue. He's the Saruman.
You might suspect correctly.
All right. I'd punch him in the head if I saw him.
So anyway, Randor says some pretty unusual things to Adam. He says, look, you rule with
How long is a fish?
Not quite that. He turns around and he's like, look, if any of these peasants give you shit, bring your hand down.
Yeah.
Okay, you teach them
You remind
why
them of
Eternia is
Paris.
the boss.
Yeah.
It's and Adam's like, I don't think there's any need, Father. I think they'll love to see me. And Duncan is like, So anyway, they go off on their tour and they begin to do their tour, and it's stiff to say the least, Michael. They meet the different dignitaries and everybody's there looking at them and kind of going, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you, Prince Adam. You fucking spoiled little bitch.
Everything's fine."
Now, Adam is no slouch. We're not going to do this wimpy milksop Adam that we had in the series. He's been trained by Duncan since he was a young man because his father is a paranoid Fruit Loop. And so he's well trained, and Tila and him spar all the time, and they're again firm friends.
Oh, she's a kind of a warrior lady.
Yes, they're both warrior. They've both been raised in that particular way. Now, Tila obviously leans more on a little bit of science because her father is General Tila, head of R&D,
Science magic.
back there in Eternia. And so we do the different tours to the different locations that we've seen in the animated series. There's a desert peoples, there's a bloody swamp peoples, there's a bloody tar pits peoples.
Oh yeah,
as we go along.
so diverse.
And everyone treats Adam the same way. It's kind of a gritted teeth. Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Adam begins to kind of notice this sour undertone to all the proceedings, and he begins to try and talk to Duncan about it. And Duncan is like, "Just leave it. Like, just don't leave it. Right? It's fine." Okay. And then two events happen that are very important for our character development of Adam. One is one day, whilst travelling through the tar pits.
Yes.
There's a bloody attack, Michael.
Well, the tar people.
From a well, they're not tar people, they're like tar assassins.
Okay.
And they attack the caravan of Eternians. Now, when we say caravan, we're not looking at a medieval caravan here. It's a bloody techno-advanced caravan
Yeah.
thing. So it's a bit of
probably robot horses.
Space opera. Yeah, why not? Why
Horses.
not? In line with your Brave Star pitch. Let's have a few robot
horses. Don't fuck them, though.
So,
Is that what you said?
no, in line with your Brave Star pitch.
Oh, but you said robot fucking horses, and I imagine that was a...
Robot fucking horses for the leather daddies.
Ugh,
So anyway,
it's gross.
Anyway, during this, there's a bloody little bit of techno magic going on here, and somebody opens a rift.
Oh, not a rift.
To somewhere else.
The planet
And he
Earth.
calls forth a beast.
Yeah.
Only it's a bloody damn squid, Michael, and this tiny little impish creature kind of gets flung out of the portal. It's got a big muzzle over its mouth.
Oh, no.
And he's like, oh no. And what they do is we
Played
see...
by Christopher Walken for some
Wow.
reason.
Oh, an imp with a muzzle. What's that for? Is he going to bite me? What's going to happen? So yeah, anyway, that happens. Christopher Walken summons forth a little impish creature.
Yeah.
And then he does a bloody dickhead thing, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
What does
Everyone's
he do?
dickheads in this
What
story,
does he do? Oh, sorry, he doesn't have the muzzle on coming out of the portal. Oh, no.
Oh, you've ruined it. You've shot your load, Ben. You've
He
premature.
clamps a muzzle on the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a bloody techno muzzle. And what does it do?
Closes his
Mutates
mouth.
the poor little thing.
Ah.
Mutates the poor little thing. So it's all this like... And we
turns
see
into
a
a big
pretty
chippy.
cool transformation scene. The face goes very dark and it comes into this kind of big thing and it's in tattered rags and it charges forward to kind of finish off the caravan of Eternia.
Yeah.
Adam's up there and he's swashbuckling away and he's like, why would they do this, Duncan? I don't understand.
Yeah, look at my
and
frilly
he's having a
shirt.
moment and like Duncan is just decimating people.
Yeah.
No mercy, just like wham, like just eliminating
Just like
people.
The group, the musical performing group Wham.
Wham, yeah. George Michael
Just
is
taking
there
them out.
swinging away. Did I not say Duncan is played by George Michael?
George Michael's dead,
Oh,
Ben. That's
sorry.
a very poor taste.
Yeah, sure it is. So this is where we get to see some pretty extreme violence. This is like what we call bringing down the hammer of Eternia. He's just ripping dudes
Hammering
apart.
people. Does
and
Man
we
at
see-
Arms have a hammer?
We see at one
Doesn't
point
he have a mace usually?
he won't touch the mace for some reason.
Okay,
so
all right.
we can see he's swinging around, he's giving it a go, and all of a sudden he gets an injury.
Oh,
so
no.
he retreats very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Adam goes, no, and he's having his big moment because Duncan is pretty close to a gentle father figure as he can get. And what happens is we see down behind the thing, bloody man at arms is there taking some kind of thing.
The juice.
The juice. And what happens is he jumps back up and he's even fiercer than before. So he starts swinging around and blah, blah, blah. And Adam is surprised by this. And Tila's holding her own down there with a bit of technology. And then the bloody creature charges in and ruins their advantage. So everything gets flipped around. The caravan gets flipped up in the air. Everything's bloody destroyed.
Even the robot horses?
The robot horses, the fucking horses are gone.
Oh, no.
They'll have to do their own solo work from now on. So anyway, Tila recognizes very quickly that the creature is mad, and she analyzes that it's coming from the muzzle. So bloody Adam takes a look and he goes, right, I'll get rid of the muzzle.
Get the muzzle off.
I'll get rid of the muzzle. And Man-at-Arms is like, just kill it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we can just get rid of the muzzle.
Yeah.
And he's like, just kill the creature. And so Man-at-Arms charges in, and we can see just how pumped up he is by the fact that he can take this creature and kind of wrestle with it. Okay? And Adam is like, no, I'll get the muzzle. So anyway, he gets the muzzle.
Yeah.
And what we find, creature transforms back, but he's left kind of deformed and bigger. There's some kind of residue of the technology left in his system, okay? And this is Orko. Yay! This is how we meet Orko. You probably knew that from when we started. Yeah, so this is Orko. And anyway, they fight off the Tarsassans, and that's the end of that. And this is where Adam really kind of has his moment of clarity, where he's like, oh man,
who's bad people?
What is going on in Eternia?
Who's bad people and who's good people?
So they interrogate one of the Tarsassans, and he's just like, and he spits at him.
Are they made of tar?
It's a class. I wish, but I feel like that's pushing the special effects budget. I don't know how much we're going to get for this.
Yeah, it might be.
I mean, maybe if we get the Amazon big books, the budget smugglers. I mean, that could do us a favor, but I don't know. It depends on how we're going to get him. So anyway, this is our first interaction. It's our first kind of character development thing. And Tila has not learned anything from this. She's like bloody scum, and she's like, "How dare you stand against Eternia?" And
she's now racist.
Yeah, a little bit. And Duncan kills him. Duncan just like
kills Orko.
No,
Tarman.
No, Orko gets to stick around. Okay. I'm not doing dorky flying Orko. I'm sorry, I refuse. He's going to be more like a, not comic relief either. He's going to be a loyal companion kind of gig.
All right.
And later on, mainly because I want to have the baby monkey riding on a pig thing, we're going to meet Creature as well. And Adam will adopt Creature as he goes along. That's an important part of the thing. So anyway, as they're finishing up this tour, they come back to Eternia for the big celebration. The Eternia Day. Yeah. And Randor is like, you're okay. And he can't really express himself because he's a stunted man emotionally, Michael. He just doesn't have it in him anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, but you're okay, boy.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, I'm fine, Dad. Like, relax. We got this. We got this.
We got
and we see him full on smack Duncan in the face. He's like, you were supposed to keep him safe. And Duncan was like, get your damn hands.
You're just going to put my steroids in.
Get your damn hands off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Michael, comes the day of celebration. Dun, 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 dun. And Randor is like, get rid of that goddamn creature. Do not show the people this fucking thing. And it's Orko. And Orko is just like, okay, fine. And he wanders off. I don't think Orko speaks, but I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I haven't decided. Well, Orko doesn't really speak in the original, does he?
Yeah,
no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Unless we can get
Ray Romano,
the guy who's in Barry, who's the guy?
Ray Romano. I think you're thinking of Ray Romano.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Ray Romano. Well, unless we can get Ray Romano.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Barry.
Barry is the HBO series about the assassin. It's got the really funny comic actor in it, and I can't remember his name. I absolutely love his work, and I can't remember his name. It's gone blank. So anyway, what happens next?
I don't know.
What happens next, Mike?
I don't know, Ben.
Neither do I. I didn't write anything down. No, I'm kidding.
Very good.
Anyway, we do the traditional bloody parade through the streets, and then all of a sudden, boom!
A big bomb.
And we see explosions all over the city.
Oh no!
In kind of really toxic-looking green.
No good.
And originally, Randor was like, God damn it, Hordak is back, and it's a whole thing, and da-da-da-da. And then we noticed something pretty terrible, Michael.
What happened?
It's not a regular bomb, Michael. There's a mutagen being released into the crowd, and Eternians are not transforming into mutants. They're transforming into like desiccated corpses. It's pretty.
Oh, not good.
It's going to be grim, Michael. It's a grim scene. It's a grim scene. And then all of a sudden, who reveals himself? It's bloody Skeletor. Skeletor is making his grand appearance on the anniversary of Hordak's kind of kicking the bucket. And he's like, oh, Hordak's gone.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got me now.
Now I'm here.
It's a whole thing. And we have a classic Sins of the Empire. I was thinking Jason Isaac for some form of Skeletor. I'd like to see
that's pretty good.
Jason Isaac.
I think you'd still have to you'd have to CGI buff him though.
You'd have to CGI buff him. And it's very clear that whoever this guy is, not all there.
He's a skeleton for one.
He's a skeleton for one. He's a little bit unhinged. But he is magnificent when it comes to fighting. So he's just like, and then so Randor calls in his entire guard. We're gonna have like a
I think he should be purple.
And a Witcher garb kind of thing.
Okay, leather. He's in leather.
He's in leather.
Okay.
Keeping with our leather.
He's a skeleton face and he's in leatherwear.
Well, I don't know how you'd do him. How would you do him?
I think you'd have to go purple. I think what we've learned from years of adaptations to film is don't try and make it too realistic.
Yeah, okay.
Do him iconic. Do him the way he looks.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
We're doing him iconic. He's going to have a big hoodie thing. There's going to be a reveal with the pulling back the thing to show the skull and all that. We're going to have all that.
Yeah, he's a skeleton head.
But anyway, Randor calls in Duncan and the guards.
King Randy.
Yeah. Oh, and his fucking horses.
That's not what the episode's called, Ben.
That's definitely what we're calling this episode. He calls in the guard. Duncan is there.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to eliminate this guy. And he just makes short work of them. He just pulls out, looks to be a pretty badass sword.
Kind of a Grey Scully looking sword.
Looking pretty, half a Grey Scully looking motherfucker. And he pulls it out. And he makes quick work of these guys. He moves unnaturally. At one point, Duncan manages to get the killing blow in.
Duncan gets him.
He manages to sneak it in. Because Randor's not that great. Duncan is the guy who's always been kind of the muscle of this whole thing.
I'm just surprised that he managed to get Skellingtor at all.
And he manages to catch him off guard when his guards haven't been. And we see there's an unnatural kind of click of the head. He catches him off guard with the thing. And then we see the classic bloody grabs the hood, pulls the head straight and goes, that won't work anymore. And then we're going to get rid of him. And then he kind of realizes slowly, Duncan is like, that's someone we know. And he kind of recognizes this style of swiftness and just finesse.
Yeah, he's
Michael.
Finesse. He knows the Eternian fighting styles.
Yeah, and he's like, how did he do this?
How does he know he knows our every move?
At one point, the guards overwhelm him a little bit again. Yeah. He drops the sword.
Yeah.
One of the guards picks up the sword to kind of try and take him out, and he just gets like vaporized. It's just like, he's like, okay, nobody touched the sword. All right. So anyway, he sees Prince Adam making his escape up the back, and he's like, that's the guy.
That's who I'm after.
And he goes straight after him. Now, there is an almighty kind of kerfuffle to do this and get rid of him. And then Tila appears with a weapon.
General Tila or
General
Lady
Tila? General Tila, sorry.
Isn't Tila her first name?
Yeah, I'm changing it. No, I've changed that.
You've changed it.
I've changed that. It's the family name.
Okay.
It's like, Tila, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Okay, it's going to be one of those. Anyway, he jumps on in there.
Yeah.
Does the chase. And then he's like, so anyway, General Tila jumps in, hits him with a beam of something, little something.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, this new villain is kind of frozen in place. Okay? And he's like, well, that takes care of that.
I've done it again.
Okay, I've done it again.
I'm a great hero.
I'm a great guy. And he walks down to inspect this. And, he's waffling. He's having his proud moment of, did you really think? Because he knows who it is.
The utter temerity.
Yeah, how could you? And Tila is smugly sitting there going, my dad's the best. And Randor is there going, oh, good work.
Good job, Randy.
Good job.
No, I'm
Tila,
Randy.
Get out of here. Okay, and
we've done it again.
Him, Duncan, and General Tila have realised now slowly who this is. And it's like, you're supposed to be gone, you're supposed to be dead, Tila comes just close enough.
General Tila or Lady Tila?
Oh, for God's sake. General Tila. Stop doing your bits. I'm
not doing a bit. I genuinely don't know.
General Tila and Adam are gone. They've been whisked away to safety.
Okay.
As would be appropriate in such a situation. Lady Tila has been whisked away. General Tila comes up to inspect, and all of a sudden...
Yeah. He's not frozen at all.
Again.
Yeah, I knew he wasn't frozen.
Again. He's like, oh... And we'll have some kind of threat. I'm not good at dialogue. Dialogue's not my talent.
You nearly went into Joker there a little bit.
Dialogue's not my talent.
Okay. He goes, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, kind of. And Tila has a panic.
General
Tila has a panic. Yeah. And it looks like it's all over for General Tila. And suddenly, who comes? Oh, God damn it, I've forgotten. I had this all lined up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
You've nearly ruined your own denouement.
And Randor,
General Randy,
pulls out his sword and brings it down to try and get him. And Skeletor is forced to react as quickly as possible, and he kills King Randor on the spot. Drives it straight through and kills him there on the spot. And he's like, of course, bloody General Tila, bloody snake that he is, does now scamper, gets out of there, and Duncan's like, "No, you son of a bitch!" And he's like, "Oh, come on, he was a prick, you know.
He was no good."
Know. And he's like, "I'm going to get you for this." And he's like, and Skeletor's like, "No, you're not." And then we hear like a horn or a siren or something like that, and mutants begin to attack the entire city, and they tear it apart. This is the worst we've ever seen Eternia. Somehow Duncan manages to escape, does a little slip away in all the confusion, grabs Adam, grabs Tila, grabs Orko, grabs
Tila.
Creature. No, Lady Tila. Lady Tila. Doesn't give a shit about General Tila.
Right.
General Tila's a real prick.
Yeah.
Real imperious prick.
Does he grab her appropriately or inappropriately?
Grabs her appropriately.
Okay,
Grabs her.
good.
Duncan's not a bad guy. He's having bad times, but he's not a bad guy. So anyway, they have to escape to somewhere else in Eternia to kind of take stock of all this and yada yada yada. And I guess what happens now is we start a kind of a montage of sorts, if you want, where
I do.
They have to travel from... Have you ever seen Samurai Jack?
Of course I've seen
the
Samurai
montage.
Jack. And we talk about it on the podcast. Was that a conceit question?
Where they travel and change, travel and train in different places. It's exactly what's going to happen here.
I'm familiar with the montage.
So basically, Eternia loses its national icon and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Duncan explains to Adam that he has to become the new face to kind of lead the resistance and blah, blah. But like this takes a couple of years. So time is just tripping along slowly. I think we're probably going to have to do more of a series thing. or a trilogy.
Right.
I told you in episode 1 I don't have a firm format for this.
This is a series, Ben, because this can't be a film trilogy because you'd need 9 acts then.
Yes, I would.
And you'd need peaks and highs, and you haven't really thought of that. Whereas it would work as a TV show.
Yes, okay. Let's
because
do it as a TV show.
You can have TV show episodes end on, and then he jumps out and kicks a man.
He jumps out and kicks a man.
Yeah.
So anyway,
a Skellington.
So anyway. Skeletor is slowly driving things worse and worse and worse, and the gang all get together, and they do their little training montages. Adam learns slowly that Eternia was a terrible governor.
Yeah.
It was just run by a really corrupt ideology of might makes right and yada yada yada, and he learns this slowly through the different people that he works with. And Tila, on the other hand, never relinquishes... Tila. No, Lady Tila. Lady Tila never relinquishes her nationalism and refuses to grow with the other characters. So,
who plays her?
We jump back. I don't know. Who would you like to play her?
I don't know.
Who would you like to play her? Who'd be a good Tila?
Is she going to have a redemption or not?
Oh, she is, yeah.
Oh, she is? Maybe television...
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Maybe television's Madeline Petch.
Who's Madeline Petch?
She is Cheryl from Riverdale. Isn't Tila a redhead?
She is, yeah.
Yeah, then her. She is, yeah. Okay, let's go with that.
We'll go. Okay, fair enough. Michael's decided. Madeline Petch it is. So yeah, they're doing all this, going through the motions, and he's becoming a better and better warrior. But he has to constantly in conflict with what he thought was right and what is right today. So he's learning all these things. We get to see more of Eternia, which is important to us because, nostalgia.
What's going on in Eternia? We want to know.
We want to know. We want to know how it's all going. Meanwhile, there's a brand new guard running around, and this is now known as Tila's Guard, General Tila's Guard.
General Tila,
okay?
Yeah.
And they're trying to maintain order and structure in the region. Okay? Against Skeletor's new regime that's running above all this. And Adam is like, oh, good, we can
team up with
talk to them and we can, it'll be great. And the first encounter they have with this Tila's Guard is pretty grim. They arrest them and they kind of put them in camps. And we're getting a little bit of a reminiscent thing to the first act where we saw the slave camps in the Eternian Badlands. And Adam is like, this is a disgrace. You can't do this.
Can't do it.
To me. I'm bloody Prince Adam. The guy's like, sure you are, kid. Prince Adam. He died.
He died in the...
He died in the rupture, whatever you want to call it. We'll give it a cool name at some point.
The Happening.
The Happening. Yeah, why not? The snap. What was it? The blip?
The Happening. It's called The Happening.
Anyway, we get back to the camps.
Yeah.
And now Adam's really starting to see just what Eternia was doing. Because these aren't new camps, Michael. These camps have always been... He's like, these aren't new. These look like they've been here for decades.
It's not in Barcelona.
I don't quite...
Little football joke for you there.
Thanks.
The new camp. It's
sorry.
It's the football football joke.
Michael, when you came to me
Yes.
3 years ago,
Yes.
said, do you want to do a podcast
Yes.
about comic books and pop culture?
Yes.
What about me made you think that one day a new camp joke based on football would go?
Look, you have to maintain one football joke per season.
All right, fair
Anyway,
enough. That was it. Let's wave it fondly goodbye.
It's not in Barcelona. They're not in a new camp. They're the
not
old
in a new
camp.
camp. Anyway. More Eternians are chained up. More bloody things are happening.
We'll see.
And suddenly,
Everyone's been forced into leatherware.
yeah. So Adam is forced to work on his empathy here, where he meets older Eternians and things like this, and he begins to learn about, there are rumors about what Skeletor is, and Skeletor's running this camp, and da 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 da. And Adam is like, no, they weren't Skeletor's men. They were wearing Eternian guard uniforms. And they were like, no, it's Skeletor. It's got to be Skeletor. Only Skeletor would do something this bad. And he was like, who is Skeletor? And they're trying to find all this out. And he meets different people as he goes along, including scholars and things like that that have been in prison, because they always come for the academics first, Michael. They always come for the academics
People
first.
who wear glasses.
And they were put in the camp as well. And the academics explain, no, well, Skeletor is wielding half of Grayskull. And it's like, what do you mean he's wielding half of Grayskull? Well, it's on all the video files, and they show, because they have videos in this.
They've got videos, yeah. They've got robot horses.
They've got robot horses. They've got fucking horses.
Oh.
They're going to have fucking videos. So anyway, they pulled it up, and they're like, look, it's a thing, because the sword is like pretty wicked.
It's a famous sword, yeah.
It's pretty wicked. It's a fucking wicked sword.
Sweet wicked.
Have you seen that fucking sword, mate? But yeah, anyway, they pulled it up, and he's like, yeah, that's not the full sword, though.
It's only half of it.
And they're like, what do you mean it's not the full sword? He's like, well, the full sword's pretty fucking bitching.
Yeah.
And that ain't the full sword. He's got half of it.
The rest of it, then.
And it's like, where's the rest of it? And he goes, oh, well, we don't know. We don't know.
Ah.
I mean, like 10 years ago, when the kingdom experienced an unprecedented progression in technology and energy, and we became independent of any kind of fossil fuel or anything like that. I mean, that might have something to do with it.
The magic sword.
10 years ago, when General Tila came back with an untapped potential.
He
power
has a sword,
source.
the son of a bitch.
Yes, there's all this going on. But before Adam can put one and one together and make an L2,
Yeah, he's not the smartest.
they're bloody liberated. They're bloody liberated from the camp. Only
Yeah.
the people liberating from the camp look awfully like Skeletor's men.
Oh no.
There's mutants liberating people from the camp. And we're like, hey,
What's going on here?
what the fuck is this? Where do my political allegiances lie? And over time, it's bloody sexy lady there, Michael.
Oh.
Bloody sexy lady leading the charge here.
Oh,
She's a
very
bloody
good.
badass with a bloody staff.
Oh,
and
I
she
like
seems
that.
to have more power than the most.
I like the sound of this one, man.
And it's like, oh, it's Lynn. No way. Check it out. It's
she's
Lynn.
back, but
And
she's
Lynn's
sexy
back,
now.
but she's sexier because she's grown up. So anyway, all that's bloody happening. And she's liberating people from the bloody camps. She's like, right, to the Badlands, lads. Come on. Off you pop. Off you pop. We're not after you. We're after the Eternians. And we're like, wait, what?
What's going on here?
What's going on? And so they go off and they do all this. And Adam decides to keep his bloody mouth shut, which is a great idea.
Yeah.
Which is a great idea.
He doesn't know what's going on.
He doesn't know what's going on. Smart kid. Not a milksop. Not a milksop. So they go to the Badlands and they begin to learn that, blah, blah, blah. And Lynn kind of takes a shine to him. Lynn's like, this guy's a bit of all right. Because as you know, we don't have any weird romance subplots this time because Skeletor or Kelor met her when she was much younger. It's more of a
Also,
father-daughter dynamic.
This film is probably financed by the Chinese. And
She'd
they don't
probably be a Chinese lady, yeah. Sure.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant that they don't like an overt romance in a movie.
Yeah, they don't. It's against their conservative values.
Yeah.
So we're not having any of that, but she's bloody taking a look at Adam and she's like, well, do you know what? All that training with different cultures is it's a firm set of buns.
Delicious. Page boy
And as
haircut.
you've said before, Michael, if you want to know the true power of a man, check out that caboose.
Check out his buns. That's where the power comes from,
So
Ben.
Michael has a can of peaches in ours.
A can of peaches, not just peaches. Very
A
cylindrical.
firm.
Very
can of
cylindrical.
peaches.
I have a cylindrical bottom.
That's why he'll be playing Duncan in the film adaptation. So anyway.
Yes.
And she's bloody explaining. She's like, well, I don't agree with all of his methods, but he is liberating Eternia. And Adam's like, I don't know. I don't know. Do you see the gas? The gas is pretty
Remember
fucked
the
up.
gas. The murder gas.
Pretty fucked up. The murder gas is
the
pretty
bombs.
fucked up. And she's like, it has to be done. We have to tear down the system. So what we're having here, Michael, and what I want you to picture in your brain
Yeah, before we finish up.
is, sorry, we're going to have to do a part 3, I think. Sorry.
Bloody hell.
Part 3. But basically what we have here, Michael, is we're beginning to see that there are extremes on both sides. There's some interesting debate happening here.
Yeah.
What I want you to take away from this section, Michael,
Go on.
is that we're very anti-monarchy. We don't like that shit. Okay, we're getting rid of that.
Here at the podcast, you mean?
We're here at the podcast and in our page. So he starts to realize, oh man, things are so murky and messy and muddled up.
I'm going to Canada.
And then, he's trying to wait and meet this Skeletor. He wants to meet the guy who ruined his life. And he's coming up with a plan. He's like, I'm going to kick
him in the
guy's
head.
ass. And then Lynn reveals that, Skeletor used to be Eternian.
Your dad.
He was your dad. And
I haven't really been paying attention then.
He was like,
oh my God, sorry.
And he's like, what do you mean he used to be Eternian? He's like, well, it's Kalor. And he's like, the war hero Kalor, who sacrificed his life at the balance. He's like, he's not dead. And then who walks in? Bloody fucking Skeletor. And he strolls in, and it's clear again. We see he just he strides straight past Adam, and Adam is like, "Oh, I'm going to get that son of a bitch.
Kick him in the head.
I'm ready." And Lynn is like, "Don't look at him.
Don't even look at him."
And he's like, "I thought you said he was a hero. I said he was doing the right thing. I didn't say he was a hero." And we can see now that there's something a little bit off with Skeletor. He seems a bit mad. Mm-hmm. He's muttering to himself as he walks past. He's like,
he did go through a lot, Ben. Let's be fair.
I know that was the character development.
Yeah.
He's a veteran, Michael, who's been done wrong by the system. I've got all kinds of tropes and archetypes running around through here.
I know.
And you can see he's talking to someone, and Lynn is like, "Hey, what's going on, Kalor?" And he's like, "Don't call me that." And he's like, "Well, but remember when I saved you that time, and we brought you back to life with stuff we probably shouldn't have touched and probably should have done more research on." He's like, "You didn't save anything."
Yeah.
And he's going mental. So he's having one of these moments, and he's a little bit schizophrenic. So we're going to need a character with a lot of range. We're going to need an actor with a lot of range here, I think, Michael.
Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, I think Jason Isaacs could probably do it.
Doesn't have a skull face, though.
Doesn't, but I'm sure he'd be willing to peel his face off for the part.
Probably would.
So anyway, he's strolling along and he goes, "Right, I have to go and consult with my council. Goodbye, blah, blah, blah." And there's a bunch of mutants following after him, the classic mutants.
Classic mutants, yeah. Wolverine,
yeah. Professor X is there,
Jubilee.
scooting along. That's great. And he goes into his chamber, and that's that. And that's where we're going to have to leave it for now, Michael. With our last big reveal that the Skeletor is kind of a demented creature. And that's where we're going to have to leave.
Who's going to play Prince Adam?
Because we're almost out of time. I don't know, Michael. I haven't figured that out. He'll be a little bit older. He'll be about 25 at this point in the film. We'll have or this point in the series or whatever, and we'll have a little.
And he's a big unit.
He's not a big. He doesn't have to be a massive unit because he hasn't got the power sword yet. Okay. He hasn't got the sword of Grayskull yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So
he can be an average unit.
We're going to get to that in a second.
Well, not a second, Ben. Next time.
Yeah, we'll get to it next time. Ladies and gentlemen, have you been enjoying the pitch so far?
I have.
Oh.
I don't really pay full attention sometimes,
you don't.
And I get a bit confused.
Check out and check little videos on your phone.
No, that was an accent. I was trying to find out who should play Evelyn.
Fine. Who should play Evelyn?
I don't know, because she has to be around 25, right? I don't know actresses.
Ladies and gentlemen, that'll give us a perfect segue. Who do you think should be playing the various characters in my TV series / pitch?
Olivia Munn.
Oh yeah.
She's a bit too old, though. I think Olivia Munn's 40.
Bit too old.
But you can pay 25 when you're 40, can't you?
Bloody. I don't have anybody. Who's big and up and coming at the minute?
Vanessa Hudgens.
Margot Robbie? Get Margot Robbie?
You wouldn't get Margot Robbie for this little TV pitch.
We doesn't have to be a TV pitch. We can restructure Margot.
I don't think Margot Robbie is evil looking enough.
Yeah, that's true. She's not necessarily evil in this. Evil Lynn just.
Her name is Evil Lynn.
There's going to be character progression as we go along, Michael.
It's not bloody good Lynn.
This is the origin.
It's not good Lynn, Ben.
Anyway.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
Oh, you're doing your roundup.
Doing my roundup.
Yeah.
What do you think so far? Are you still involved? Should we do a part 3? Should we not do a part 3?
I think we should do a part 3.
Let us know if you don't want us to do a part 3 and focus on other things.
Wouldn't that be great if that was the most feedback we ever got?
Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope it isn't. It'll hurt my feelings. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us this week. You can get in touch with us in a number of places. We are online at seomrabeag.com, SEOMRABEAG.com.
Means tiny room in Irish.
It absolutely does.
Well, kind of.
You can find us on the gram at seomrabeag, SEOMRABEAG. Just that. You don't need to add anything else. If you're listening to us on YouTube, like and subscribe, please. We'd really enjoy that. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, give us a bloody review.
There's no review there.
January's not over. It's still time for a very, 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 very late Christmas present. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, do follow along. We will be back, if you haven't had enough of us this week, on Wednesday. We can listen to our brand new Collecting Issues on Lock and Keys.
Yes, we will.
So if you want to get caught up before you see the new Netflix series, give that a listen on Wednesday. That's
also,
it.
Ben, next week we're talking about, we're doing a retrospective look at the best TV and film properties that are comic book, but not actually based on comic books.
Okay, I didn't know we were doing that. Cool.
I just decided now.
Yes, excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.